Hey everyone, this is an average sim racer here again with another episode of Career Mode, my team. And now we have the second race at Bahrain, but just going through some housekeeping here. Now we have to add a secondary sponsor. Now I know Atlantic is the main one that everyone uses, but I don't know. I just decided to go with another one to be a little bit different here, and their objectives, complete all practice programs, was just a lot more doable than me having to do more laps because kind of running a limited schedule here with the laps. I don't really do much practice and I run 50% race. So then going through some of the R&D objectives, trying to focus on engine power and durability because those are probably the two main factors that the car is really suffering from, the low power and durability. Is I go through what the reliability was the first race. It wasn't really that good, so just trying to do some housekeeping. Probably missing some things because there's so many sub menus now. But anyway, we head to Bahrain and start practice sessions here. Yeah, this is a track that was extremely hard in F1 2019, but yeah, I wasn't really sure how it was gonna go with this, but looking at the team objectives, seeing what I needed to clear, and again, I did complete 5 of the objectives, and I try to purple most of them except for the qualifying because that is the hardest one to do. As we go through, some of what I did here with the practice sessions, the track, learning the track here, and scoring the purples, get the team acclaim up for the practice sessions. So now we are halfway through the second, and I realized that team acclaim gives your team more opportunities, especially with the sponsorship. So that's something that I'm gonna prioritize as we go. So anyway, this is short qualifying, and yeah, the car was actually running really well here. I was pretty competitive in the practice sessions, and then as far as qualifying goes, this was the best lap that I did, and yeah, it was pretty clean. Uh, just try to do it as smoothly as possible. Hit the braking zones, trail brake to that right-hander, trying to get the power down. It's very slippery in this track. I found really hard to get the power down. And yeah, we'll just enjoy a little bit of this lap. So coming to the close of my qualifying lap, yeah, everything was going really smoothly. Was able to hit most of the apexes. Really didn't lock any brakes or make any mistakes. As we come through the final corner here, get the power down early. Hit the DRS as early as you can. And we crossed the line in a 127.857, which was good for P16, and I was pretty happy with that, considering that I didn't really qualify that well in Australia, so it was something that I was really satisfied with. So now we go on to the race.
We're here again then at a circuit famous for its stunning visuals and thrilling battles for glory. Who will take the spotlight in the Bahrain Grand Prix today? There's there's no shortage of passing opportunities around the 3.36 miles of the
Always love the
Bahrain
look of the
international
nighttime
circuit, with
Bahrain.
the best at turn 1 of
Just
course,
makes it
and
a
then another
little bit
super
more of a
for turn
unique Grand
4.
Prix than most,
Few
as
corners
you know
here,
there
6
aren't
to the left and
too
1
many
to the
night Grand
right,
Prix
and we could see
on the
1 or 2
calendar.
flat spots into the tight left-hander of turn.
Not a bad track to drive. So anyway, we have our race strategy. I was going with the medium hard, and I didn't add any fuel because it ruined me in the last race. So as we get off to the start, get a much cleaner start than I did in the first race, so starting to get the hang of that. And I'm fighting with Magnussen once again. Gonna dive it up the inside of Raikkonen. I wanted to try to get Gasly, but you know, with the turn in that the AI always do, I decided to be cautious. Someone hit me on the left side. Don't know who that was. It was looks like his to be Raikkonen or Sainz. And we're fighting. And I get Sainz on the inside of turn 3. And yeah, we got a good clean exit there. So really great start. Made up 3 places from P16. And as we got separated a little bit from the snake there, we're fighting Gasly once again as we did in Australia. So looks to be that he's going to be my rival, I guess you can say. I know this game actually does give you a rival, but I guess for now he'll be my unofficial rival. I vowed to use a little bit more overtake than I did. I was really conservative with it in Australia. I tried to be more aggressive with it, and later on we'll see the good benefits that happened when I was more aggressive with it. So just trying to hang with the pack, the medium tires. Looks like the guys ahead of me were also on the mediums, so it was going to be interesting to see how things shaked out between the front runners using the soft tires and people in the back using the medium tires as we finished the first lap. So nothing really happened up in here until lap 4, and Gasly and Perez were fighting quite a bit. Perez was starting to back up some of the cars behind us, and Gasly and Perez really going at it. And yeah, I was just trying to stay behind and maybe try to reap the rewards if both of them either collided or made a mistake. And yeah, I was just biding my time behind them. As you can see, I'm using some overtake now. And yeah, they were just battling out there. Gasly was constantly on the DRS, so I really couldn't do anything about him. And they had better traction than me as well. This track was really slippery for me. Didn't really dial down the setup I needed. And yeah, just locking up the brakes a little bit there. But I was better than them through the middle sector. Caught up with them there. But then as we went to the straights, especially the last corner right here with the traction zone, I was having a bit of difficulty getting the power down. As you can see there, quite a lot of oversteer. But still had the DRS, still was less than a second behind. Gasly starting to get more aggressive here. But, ooh, as I overshoot the brakes. So yeah, it was a good little scrap going on there. Just trying to stay behind them, and as I said before, just trying to be patient with this. You know, it was only into lap 7 of 29, so was planning to do an earlier pit stop too if they didn't if I didn't get past them. So yeah, they always got me on the straight here. I just didn't have enough power, and my downforce settings was maybe a little bit too high. And yeah, it was just Gasly and following Perez. Perez getting a little bit out of shape there, and then I think Perez was starting to struggle more and more, and Gasly was getting a good run as Sainz was also staying behind me. We were also making up some places through the pit stops as well, and Gasly finally gets it up the inside and he overtakes Perez, and that is actually for the lead because most of the front runners on the soft tires were coming into the pits. So yeah, we were just gradually gaining places as everyone was pitting, and now this was actually the battle for the podium positions. Obviously, we were on older tires compared to the guys behind us that were pitting for new tires. But anyway, now I got a good shot at Perez, lining him up here on the straight, and was able to get a good enough exit here to stay close behind him. And yeah, we flip on the overtake. We get the DRS open. And then just inching up on him. He's got that Mercedes engine, but I was able to brake much later than he did. And I get him on the inside, and now it's between me and Gasly again. And as we see the view from the outside, yeah, just a pretty standard overtake, but I was very surprised that I was able to outbrake him from that far back. So me and Gasly again battling again as we did in Australia. So yeah, he's pretty much my unofficial rival at this point. Just trying to stay close with him. He's got the same power plant as me, the Honda engine, but I feel like their engines are more powerful than the engines that we got. Now, obviously, Honda has been working closely with them longer than we have, as we are a new team, and this is only our second race. But anyway, trying to stick with him, changing some of the power settings in the fuel mixture there, and yeah, braking, starting to feel better about this last corner, is getting the exit. And now I flip on the overtake, get the rich mode on the fuel mixture, and yeah, catching up to him faster than I did Perez, and I brake it later than him again on the inside, a little bit tighter than when I overtook Perez, but yeah, it was a done deal on my part. As we see another replay, you can see I was a little bit inside more than I was on Perez, and Gasly squeezing me a little bit, but seems like the AI not really aggressive with their braking. You can easily outbrake them in this game, I notice, in Australia and then here. So now I'm in the lead. So Arrow's F1 is in the lead for just their second race after their comeback from years before. But my tires were really worn, and I was sliding all over the place after I overtook Gasly. So I decided to come in for the pits and change to the hard tires, as I actually did a really good job slowing down for the pit lane there. So down the pits we go, and we'll meet my team of mechanics in the pit lane. And I'm still getting used to how fast they work, because I was kind of struggling with the clutch there. 2.4 seconds on the pit stop, so yeah, my new team's doing a really good job getting me out there fast. So we're on the hard compound, and I did not like this compound in Australia, so I wasn't really feeling good about this. In hindsight, I probably should have started on the higher tires, but anyway, we were able to just get Perez into the first turn as he went to the pits for his tire change, and so he almost did the overcut on me, and I was just barely able to get him in the pit stops. So yeah, that was a bit of a sigh of relief there. Considering that I was on the newer tires, it shouldn't have been that close, but I was struggling to get heat into the tires on the outlap. So Perez was starting to hang with me a little bit, as he was kind of backing up the pack in the first stint. But yeah, starting to feel much better with the hard tires. Trying to break the slipstream a little bit, going down the middle of the straight. Perez sticking with me pretty well, unlike the first stint where he was lacking a lot of pace. So yeah, Perez really feeling good with those hard tires. And yeah, we're starting to make up some places in the pit stops, as you can see, as Hamilton exits from his second pit stop, and I was able to overtake him on the outside as he was exiting the pit lane and struggling with some traction there. But as you can see here, it was actually almost 3 wide as Perez was trying to get me on the inside, and I think Hamilton blocked him a little bit there, and I was able to beat Hamilton into the first and second corners. But now Hamilton, with fresh tires, was right up my back, and trying everything to keep that Mercedes behind. And yeah, it was really difficult to keep him behind, obviously, but just trying to break the slipstream, using more overtake than I normally was at this stage of the race. And yeah, as you can see, taking an unconventional line in the straight, staying in the middle, And Hamilton had a chance, probably had a chance to overtake me on the inside there, but wasn't really aggressive enough. And as we fly down the back straight, now he's really on my tail. And because of that, I make a mistake, and Hamilton easily breezes past me, and he's also got the DRS. But anyway, not gonna cry about that because he was eventually gonna overtake me anyway, and I was probably losing time trying to keep up with him. So it was best for me to just let him go and go on with my race, especially with my battle with Perez, as he was really the one I was racing with at this stage. So again, taking some unconventional lines on the straight, trying to break the slipstream, and Perez decides not to follow me. So I was pleased about that. And there I lose some traction there, and Perez was pretty much anticipating Perez to be on the inside, but yeah, he didn't really catch up with me as much as I thought he would. And then here Stroll drops out of the race, something happens to him, and we now get a virtual safety car. Now I screwed up the virtual safety car in Australia, as when it ended, Gasly just blew by me on the main straight, as I wasn't really prepared to fight that. But here I was a lot more aware of what to do, and when I saw the ending, I tried to just let more delta time go so I could just go flat out, and yeah, I was able to execute it a lot better than I did in Australia there. And now Ricciardo is the one that I'm battling with, as he was one of the guys that was on the soft tire in their first stint, so now he's on fresh mediums while I'm on the slower hard tire that is probably pretty worn out at this stage with 27 laps to go. But yeah, trying to fight for 7th place here. I was in the points, and yeah, my goal was to get points, obviously, with the new team. And yeah, this battle was making me sweat a little bit because yeah, that Renault was charging, trying to desperately to keep it fair. I swerved a little bit there on the braking zone there, but realizing that the AI is not willing to outbrake you as much. Um, I didn't have to do too much moving and weaving in the braking zone, if at all. And then struggling with the braking there. And yeah, just trying desperately to hold on to the 7th position. Palms were sweating inside my driving gloves. They were pretty moist by the end of this. And Ricciardo dives into the pits, so that was pleasantly surprising for me. And then I also overtook Hamilton as he went into the pits. So now we actually go up to 6th place, which was really unprecedented. These late pit stops that were happening, I don't know what happened, but the AI has seemed to miscalculate their strategy. So I benefit from that, and now we are on to the last lap, and I'm in P6. That means 8 points, and Arrows F1 is going to score points on just their 2nd race since their return in F1. And as you can see me fist pumping, really pleased with that result. Making that one-stop strategy work, as we also are the driver of the day. So yeah, very competitive race from our vantage point, making up 10 places. Just a very satisfying race for us, scoring 8 points. And yeah, that really boosted the team acclaim, boosted my driver acclaim too, as well, as we get to level 3 and almost halfway into level 3 at that. So that was a very big result for us. Didn't incur any damages, so whatever money we got from that race, it was keeps. So yeah, that was the 2nd episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.